think that was a request for me. Thank you, Puppet Master. Hayes County Radio, Central Texas.
I thought that was
show.
for Christine, because she's getting all hot and bothered because she's going to get to hop in a dwarf car again. My temperature's rising.
Hot bothered. Well, whatever.
No.
Coming to you from Central Texas Speedway, the Summer Shootout presented by C3 Landscapes coming up here tonight at the racetrack. Lots to do around here, Jason. There's bars on every corner. You hear the cars firing up, practice going on, main events starting up.
Where's the bikini girls? Do we have girls in bikinis today?
You know,
or are they going to come later?
I think that's coming up maybe a little bit later on, hopefully.
No, there's no longer a volleyball pit. Now it's the
Sativa.
Pirate Bar.
Yeah, the Pirate Energy
When I get
bar.
the pool
That's
here, the girls will follow. It's just like Field of Dreams. If you
If
build it, they will come.
They will
Yeah.
come.
Mhm.
If I get a pool over here, we'll have.
And, and if you have bikinis, guys will look. Yeah.
Absolutely.
You show them
Absolutely.
off, they will be seen.
Yes.
Yes.
Don't be surprised.
That's okay. We will take it. We'll take them however we can get them here.
Look how serious our next guest look. We're sitting here laughing and
Well,
carrying
I'm
on.
gonna
and he is
tell
just
you why.
He looks
serious.
nervous, like we're going to take advantage
no.
of
This is this is one of the best speakers that you're going to find at the track. That's not nervous. That's focused.
Oh, okay.
That right there. He's got two of them back to back in the A-Line Super Street Stock division, driving Alan Alexander's number 80 White Lightning Chevrolet there. Past track champion here multiple time, and actually we are on the Father's Day theme. Of course, he and his dad both past track champions here. We welcome in Clint LaFont. Clint, welcome to the digs here in the car bar.
Thank you, guys. It's good to see you. Glad to see Bobby back out here.
Yeah, they let anybody in here as long as you pay the pit gate.
Yeah.
Well,
I know that feeling.
so speaking of that, Clint, I mean, you were, you'd kind of been off there for a while. You had ASA national championships, kind of racked up some track championships back to back there. We could never, man, tough to beat. You were tough to get close to back a while back, and a little bit of time off. And I saw during the right towards the beginning of the season that you were going to be doing some racing here. I knew instantly that you would be quick again, and here you are, 3 races, couple of them back to back. I mean, you've hit on something there. You and I talked a while back. You said you were still kind of working on some stuff. Man, phenomenal return to the racetrack.
Well, thank you, Rodney. It's been good. You know, Alan called me about 3 weeks before the first race, and he said, "Hey, Clint, what are you doing? You going to be racing?" I said, "Well, I don't know. You know, I haven't really looked at the car. It's still on jack stands from 3 years ago." But he hurt his back, and he really just can't do it. You know, his wife told him that he better stay out of that thing, and he asked me to drive the car. And I had to think about it for a couple seconds, and I decided, let's do it.
It took you that long?
About 2 seconds, yeah.
About
yeah.
as long as it took Rodney to know whether or not he's going to drive the dwarf or Bush. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought about it that long. But that was the thing, Clint. You know, it was. You know, you had such a great run there, you know, in your car, in the number 3 Camaro, that little bit of layoff, and you obviously, how during that span to you, how has the track changed at all? You know, we talk about how the asphalt wears and so forth. In your eyes.
You know, Rodney, I really didn't feel any change. I mean, I thought maybe the tire might feel a little different, the cars might feel a little different. They look different, but honestly, those cars are identical. It felt just like the day that I pulled mine off the track 3 years ago. That old Camaro of mine, it's basically the same exact car that Alan's running. He just has a aftermarket body on it. So that's one thing that a lot of the fans probably have noticed, that the super stocks look a lot faster. But the times are really the same. You know, one of the things we're shooting for tonight is the track record. Right now in the super stocks,
Which you hold.
Yes, sir. It's still holding on. It's a 16,284.
See, race car drivers never forget their own track record.
Yeah.
No, I can remember that day because it was one of these days. It was 110 degrees out, and everybody said everybody's going to be falling off, and we knocked off a real good lap. I don't know how, but we did, and we're going to try to break it.
It's not a matter of how; it's a matter that you do.
Yeah. Well, and Clint is an interesting story here because he. A lot in with the Father's Day, of course. Your dad, Bobby, he's here. I actually could see him from here. He was the track champion here in 2000. He and I mean, many laps, and you and I as well. Laps that we've raced together. But I mean, I think back. I remember when you were younger. I mean, you were his shadow, and what you were doing, not only helping your dad, but I mean, you learned these cars from ground up, and just you are a setup master with these cars.
You know, one of the things that when he was racing, I wanted to set the car up. He would come in and he'd say, "It feels great," and I'd say, "No, it's not good enough. Let's keep working on it." And I'd almost make him mad sometimes when I'd do that. But we just kept working on the cars, and my goal is to learn what it took to make the thing stick through the centers of the corners out here. This track, if you can get that thing to come off a 2, you can get it to come off 4. You can win these races. You can get down that straightaway fast, and it just it took a lot, but through a lot of work, like you said, Rodney, and watching. I watched you, Rodney, for many years racing with my dad.
See, that's where he forgot all that. He's like, that's not what we do.
Oh, now see, folks don't listen to that. No, I remember watching Rodney and my dad racing side by side. Rodney on the outside, my dad on the inside, and they'd run lap for lap, and that was back when they said this track was a one-groove track, and I said, man, that's proof it's not. So.
Well, that leads me to my next question. The in-car footage that we got to see on Facebook was you on the outside. Everybody says it's a one-groove racetrack. You've proved back in the day, the last few races here, that the outside you can pass on. What's the secret to running that outside groove? I mean, is it just car setup? Is it control? What's the secret to running the outside without giving away all the good secrets?
Well, I want to thank my sponsors. I want to thank Alan Alexander. And, no, guys, really the trick is to sail it off in there and not worry about it. I remember one time somebody told me that. He said, just sail it off in there until you think you're going to crash, and you'll probably be good. You'll come out ahead. And like last Saturday, that race was just, that car was stuck to the track. And I remember racing with the 7-car, Matt. He's from Corpus, and he raced me real clean the previous week, so I knew that if I sailed it in there that he'd hold it on the bottom. And that's the biggest thing, Bobby. If I can trust the guys that I'm racing with, I don't mind racing like that, and I'll definitely take the chance on the outside.
Trust, that's a big thing.
That makes perfect sense.
That's huge. So, Clint, you know, like we said, back-to-back 2 times here. This class, I mean, actually, I watch you guys. When I get to watch you guys, sometimes I think I'm kind of glad I'm not in there. I mean, there's just so many talented, you know, veteran and young drivers in there. If you'll speak to a little bit about the quality of driver in there. It's an all-star class right now with what you guys are doing out there.
It is. We've got a little bit of everything. We've got some guys that have 20 years experience that are just top of their game, and we've got some guys that are learning, and I respect that. That's where I was when I first started racing out here, and they're out there trying to make their cars go around. In fact, I've had a couple of them come by and ask questions, and they probably don't think that I told them the truth, but I did on some setup. I told them what they needed to do to kind of get those things running a little better, and that's what we're here to do. We want everybody to have fun, have good, clean racing.
Well, you talk about the younger kids, and we've had this discussion about NASCAR versus nationwide and all that stuff. Do you, and you spoke about, you know, not minding running outside when you trust everybody. Do you want to help the younger guys so you can trust them on the track?
You bet, exactly.
You know, and just kind of pull them up and get everybody on the same level playing field. That's a special thing, and you know, talk a little bit about how important it is to grow the youngsters and get them to the point where, you know, you don't mind running on the outside of them because you trust them enough, and then get them better and pass that along.
That's exactly right. One of my big things is respect. You know, when my dad was racing, I remember that he would never bump someone. He'd win a race by passing them either on the outside or on the inside without touching them, and I've tried to carry that on. And I want to show people that you can do that. These young guys that are coming in, if the car's not right, I don't want them to get frustrated. I don't want them to start thinking, well, somebody's cheating. Somebody's, you know, they're doing something that's not right. They're friends with the track or whatever it may be. I want them to say, wait a minute, I need to work on my car a little bit. I want to tweak it a little bit till I can get that thing to pivot in the center. And that's what it's going to take to get their cars running around the track. And I've tried to encourage that, and I hope that it's working.
Oh, absolutely. And Clint, I can tell you again, every time we get folks over here and we talk to them, I start showing my age. But it has been really a privilege for me to watch you grow, you know, from and especially this really means a lot on Father's Day, you know, because I'm the dad son type thing too. You know, to have watched you all these years and watch you and Bobby, and here you are back again. It's really cool to have you guys back here. It feels right again. This is one of the things that feels right again.
You know, I told somebody the other day that I felt better out here this year than I have all those other years racing, and I don't know if it's just the new folks out here, the atmosphere change, but it just feels like a great place, and I hope that gets more fans in the seats.
You know, even from my limited experience with the track and being out here, I remember when you were out here, and I remember when you broke that record, or set the record, I should say. And, you know, I remember being out here also when you weren't here, and just, I actually really enjoyed watching you race.
Well, I appreciate that.
Glad to see you're back.
Thank you. Thank you. Glad to be back. Tonight we're going to go 3 in a row.
3 in a row. Now, now, see, Rodney brought up the time about, you know, you've been around it a long time. I have. He has. Back in the day, we used to race every single week at Longhorn, nonstop from March all the way to September. Then we did a few big shows in October. A couple of years ago when we were winning the championships, they kind of switched to the every other week format. Now they're into basically the once-a-month format. How hard is it to keep your focus between the races now because there's that big a gap, or does it make you focus more because now you get to do other stuff on weekends and stuff like that?
You know, this schedule that we're on now is a little bit lengthy in between. I have to agree with you, Bobby, but I kind of like the one where it was every other week. But you know what, though? It is so much better on our equipment, on everybody out here, not having to come out here so often. So I feel okay. I can transition to it. It gets me a little more pumped up, and I'm a little more edged for a couple weeks at work, but I can get back into it and come out here, you know, a month at a time and run these races.
Nice.
Yeah, no doubt about it. So how you and Bobby have had a lot of great, cool father-son moments out here. How cool would it be to go 3 in a row on Father's Day weekend?
Oh, man, I like that. I remember it was Mother's Day weekend here a while back, and I don't know if it was 2010 or what it was, but me and old Dad finished 1-2.
I remember that.
That was a pretty cool race. I've got that one on DVD for sure, and it'd be cool tonight to go 3 in a row. Hey, let's go for it all. Let's break track record tonight. Let's go 3 in a row and Father's Day weekend.
There you go. That sounds like a plan to me right there.
It does, right there.
That sounds like a plan. So keep your eye. If you're coming out, don't be confused. If you haven't been out in a while and you remember Clint, don't look for the white number 3. And actually, you said the old Camaro. I used to actually call that the damn old Camaro with yours because you were just so far gone. So the white number 80, first choice house leveling Chevrolet there of Alan Alexander. So keep your eye on Clint. Clint, thank you very much.
Thank you, guys.
Best of luck tonight, man. We'll be cheering you on.
Appreciate it. I got one request for Bobby. If he can find that White Lightning CD, got to play it tonight, man.
You got to talk to the master right here. Puppet Master be the one that has that one.
Absolutely. Clint LaFont in car number 80, and that is the A-Line Super Street Stocks tonight. Watch him. He is a man on a mission. A little bit more coming up. One more segment as we come to you, Hays County Radio Live from Central Texas Speedway. This is the Central Texas Speed Show.